Welcome to our headers and footers class today. This webinar is going to cover headers, footers, and page numberings. Oh my, that's a better way to put it, basically. So headers and footers and page numbering can be scary, but hopefully this will allow you to get a better handle on things, kind of understand a good order of operations to insert page numbering into legal documents, which can be very challenging. So let's get started. All right, so the agenda today, we're going to insert headers and footers. That's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to show you a lot of basics initially, and then we'll talk about the different first page. We'll talk about section breaks. So those are the key to creating different headers and footers in legal documents. We'll talk about link to previous. This is literally the cause of all your problems, link to previous. So I'll show you how to deal with that. And then we'll just talk a little bit about what happens when you do experience the musical chairs of page numbering. And then I'll show you the add page numbering tool, which is in the tools ribbon. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we have a document here, and this is just a practice document. I'm gonna play with it here during the training. You'll see that we have a page break in here. If you're ever dealing with the headers and footers, you should always turn on the show marks icon here under the home ribbon, just so you can see things like page break. Okay, so pretty straightforward. When you want to add something to the header or footer of a document, which is basically the top or bottom area, you can go to Insert, and then here we have header and footer. Now there's a lot of built-in kind of templates that you could use, but these are not appropriate for legal documents. So you will literally ignore these headers or footers here. You could, however, save your own header or footer to reuse in other documents if you find yourself recreating the same materials. So this is a fantastic option here to add your own and then use that in the future. Now, most of you would select header, edit header here, but most of you are very familiar with just double clicking into the header area. So when you double click, it makes the body of the document inaccessible, which is great. So it locks the body of the document. You won't make any changes to that while you're working in the header or footer, and vice versa. Now, when you access the header area, you will see the header and footer ribbon appear, and this only appears when you're in the header or footer. There's a lot of tools here. Now you'll see over here, there's also that header and footer icon from the insert ribbon. So you really never have to go into the insert ribbon. You would just double click. And again, the same options here. There's a remove header option, which you don't want to use because a lot of times the header and footer contain information from a document template, or you have the document ID. So when you remove, it literally clears everything out of there, and you don't want that. Also, when you're working in a header and footer, be mindful of the document changing its pagination. So you could literally add more pages or reduce the page number in a document when modifying the header and footer. Okay, so just to talk about some of the different features you have in the header footer ribbon before we get into the meat of this training, you can insert things like date and time, and these are fields, and fields are basically intelligent text that will update as you open the document, print the document, etc. We have document info, so this is some metadata that has been saved to the document. You could just insert that metadata very easily here. And you also have fields. And fields can be very useful because it will include the metadata, for instance. You can have creation date, but one thing that might be useful to you is the num pages, for instance, and this will put the total number of pages into the header and footer. So if you wanted to say 1 of 12, then this num pages will work, and it will update as you add pages to the document. And that's the benefit of a field code. Page numbers are also field codes, and they will update automatically as you change the pages of the document. That's why you never want to just type in page numbering. That just doesn't make sense. So there you go. There, you can actually insert whatever you want into the header and footer, more or less. And you could also use this insert ribbon here, and you can insert pictures and shapes. You can insert word art. So maybe in the past, you've seen like a watermark that says something like draft. And so this is treated as an object because it has this border here. You can always select that border, and you can use this layout icon to basically say, have the text float above the object. So if I click one of these layouts, so behind text, that's usually what you'd want to use if you're going to move this to a different location. You'll see that it will be behind the text when I go back into the body of the document. So you can put pictures back there. This isn't something you necessarily do with legal documents behind text. But what you will see in the header is you'll see things like pleading numbers, which appear on the left-hand side, and those are usually inserted into the header. Or you might have some red herring text and some other items in here as well. Footnotes will also appear in the footer of the document, but those are controlled by the footnote tool. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, you can literally put whatever you want from this insert ribbon, more or less, into the header or footer of the document. Okay, so those are the main components of a header and footer. Just some other options here. If you want to have, let's say, a cover page without a page number on it, you can choose different first page, and that will allow the second page of the document to start at 2 because it's technically the second page of the document. So you could choose this header from the top or the bottom. This is literally the margin of the document. So as soon as you start typing, it will start at 0.5 inches from the header or 0.5 inches from the footer, but you can continue as much as you want. So you'll see that it moves that document text down. Okay, show document text. This is a way to kind of hide the body of the document to view just the header and footer. This feature here, you have to be kind of in a right view, in a right place for this to work. Otherwise, it'll complain like this. So I'm not going to go into that here. And I'm not going to talk about insert alignment tab. That's something you don't really have to worry about. So, okay, so to exit the header and footer, you would simply double click into the document to get back to the body text. Now, if you want to use different headers and footers, you'll want to insert a section break into a document. With legal documents, that is literally all you ever use are section breaks. This page break here, I mean, that's useful. It just pushes the text down to the next page, but a section break will allow you to format the page almost like a completely different document than the other pages. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and delete this page break here, and you'll see that text reappears. To insert a section break, I usually put in a couple more paragraph marks just to give it some room. And then I go to layout and then breaks. So as I said before, these page breaks here are just very simple. It just pushes text. So this will push text to the next page. If you have 2 columns of text, it'll push the text to the next column. And if you have text wrapping around an image, it'll just push the text to the bottom of that image. That's all that does. This is the number one. This is our best friend. This is what we use in legal documents. Next page, section break. So it splits the document into sections and it pushes the text to the next page. You can use continuous. That'll actually allow you to modify text within that same page. So you can have different page margins in that same page. It's not something people really use. Even in odd pages, those are great if you're trying to print out a book. So you have a left and right side. That's an example. We're just going to stick with next page. This is literally all you would want to use in a legal document. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next page, and it pops that section break in there. Now, if I didn't add those little paragraph marks, it would have been up on the edge, and the section breaks aren't good when it shares text. So if I keep pushing it, this kind of disappears. So it's always kind of good if you have room to put it on its own paragraph mark or line. Okay, so now we added a section break into the document. We can modify the page numbering. Okay, so, okay, we're going to get to the devil in the document. And I swear it is the devil in the document. And I say, get rid of it whenever you see it. It's not helpful. And it's called that same as previous. So just to reiterate here, when you insert a section break, this page and the pages above is a section. And then the pages below the section break in this page is a different section. Now, if you want to change the page numbering, you would double click in the footer. You could put page numbering in the header too. And see that same as previous? That thing is the worst. It's meant to help. So basically what this does is even though you inserted a section break, it's gluing the header and footer of the first section with the second section. So if you put in page numbers, it's just going to keep going as if you don't even have a section break. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So whenever you see the same as previous, and we're just going to do it to the footer because we're only dealing with page numbers in the footer. You don't have to do it to the header. It's fine. You could leave that. You want to click this icon here. So we're in the header and footer ribbon. You turn this link to previous off. And then you use this next to literally find every one of those little devils and turn that thing off. So once you turn them all off, because they will reappear every time you enter a section break, then you can insert page numbers, and it will not go to these other areas. So, okay, we're going to insert a page number. Very simple. The page number icon is right here. We have basically three options you're going to choose: top page, bottom page, and current page. You can ignore page margin. Actually, pretty much what you would do most of the time is you're going to choose bottom of the page, and you're going to choose from one of these three here: plain number 1, number 2, number 3. All these other ones are things that Microsoft added that we don't really use in legal documents. They get a little goofy here, so you can totally ignore them. Just use the plain ones. And also, if you're finding yourself adding specific page numbers, you can always save that selection. And that one you could use. So we're going to stick with this plain number 2, bottom, middle, easy enough. Voila, there you go. Okay. So pretty easy. We don't want the table of contents to be number 2. So by default, it still kind of glues it to that earlier section. We want this to start at page number 1. So once you insert that page number in there, you're good. You don't have to highlight it. You can click over here if you want. Click over here, it doesn't matter. And then you can go back to page number and choose format page numbers. There you go. Now by default, it continues from the previous section. We could just say start at 1. And then we could change the number format to a little I. So that's the only numbering I've seen in a table of contents is the Roman numeral I. I don't know if that's the same for all legal documents, but I would say that's a pretty good rule to go by unless you're told otherwise. This stuff you can totally ignore. This gets a little bit more complicated. And then we're going to press OK. There you go, little I. So we've changed the number. We're still safe. Everything is okay. All right, now we have this other section of the document. This is kind of the body of the document. And we don't want to use these Roman numerals. We want to use just regular numbers. Now, by default, I haven't split this part of the document off, so it's still going to show the numbers. So I have to go up here. I'll replace this page break because it's not doing what we want, the job we need it to do. We're going to go back to layout. I'm going to hit a couple enter keys in here and then layout, breaks, next page, section break. Okay, there we go. Section break, it's on its own line. That's fantastic. We can always get rid of these kind of junk paragraph marks. And then we can go back into the body. Look at that. That thing's back. So turn that thing off. Go to previous, next, just find it wherever you can. And then we're good. So this is the first page of the body of the document. Now, I do not want a number on the first page of the body of the document. That's a thing that happens in legal documents. I don't know why. We already have a cover page, but we're going to go with it. So we're going to click on different first page. And it automatically removes that page. We can always insert it again. and then it'll just keep going. But I'm going to delete that there. So now, even though I inserted that page number in here, we still have page number 2. I'm going to delete that. From page number 1, we have different first page selected, and we still have 2. So we're good. So a different first page, that's always available in the same section. Since we're in the same section, this is technically page 1, you will get technically page 2, even though there's no number on the first page. So we don't want that 2. We can just go to page number, format number. We're still starting at 1. This is technically the second page of that section. That's why, even though you want it to start at 1, it's still going to say 2. We're going to go in here. We're going to change it to numbers. We're going to press OK. And there we go. Did it disappear? No, it just moved me to the first page for some reason. Another fun aspect of Word, right? Page 2, we're good. Okay. So these are the steps that I performed that will totally help you deal with these page numbering. And it's insert a section break first, get rid of same as previous, and then insert the page number. And you could modify things like different first page, and it's not going to affect those other sections. You're going to be safe because you turned off that same as previous thing. Okay, we're going to keep going here. I've got a couple like minor examples I can show you. Hopefully this is making sense. I probably have a little bit more confidence because I've been through this like 10 times already. So, okay, so here we got a signature page. Now you might get a bunch of these paragraph marks, and then it pushes it down to that next page. These junk paragraph marks are always bad. So I'm going to leave a few. I'm going to go layout, break, next page. There we go. Section break is on its own line. I'll get rid of these paragraph marks that I just put in there to help me insert that section break. And here we go. So now we still have page 8. Double click. That thing shows up again every time you insert a new section break. It's usually a good idea to insert section breaks after that document's done. So at the end, insert all your section breaks, or even delete all the section breaks, put them all back in there again. That's a good way to go. It can help. We don't have a signature. We don't have a paragraph. I'm sorry, page number here. I'm going to insert that additional section break because we have an appendix. Okay, and this will be the last thing I show. Well, close to the last thing I'll show you here. We'll go layout breaks. Next page again. We go up here. I can get rid of the paragraph mark if I want. That's fine. This is on its own line. And I'll get rid of all these goofy paragraph marks somebody put in here to move the page down. And here we got Appendix A. So no paragraph mark in here. I'm just going to double click. Okay, good. No same as previous. We are doing good. We don't care about the header. We could turn it off here if the page numbering was in the header. You don't have to deal with this. There that is again. Link to previous. And there's another one for some reason. So yeah, get rid of that. Okay. All right, so the appendix, we want this to say A1 for appendix page 1 and A2 for appendix page 2. For this, I can just turn off different first page. And there we go, put in the page number. We got second page. I know I'm scrolling up and down a lot. I'm so sorry if I'm losing you here or giving you a seasickness. Now, I want to put in A-1 into the page numbering. Now, so this page will be A-2. Now remember, in a section, whenever you insert a header or footer, those are designed to repeat on every page. Now I used that special code for a page 1, and you could see that gray around the number. That means that it's going to automatically change, but I don't need it to change automatically for A1. I can just type in A1, and then when I scroll down, A2. So there you go. So there's no special trick to putting text before or after this number. You could just type and it's just going to repeat itself like that. So, okay, we're doing really good on time. 21 minutes. That's fantastic. I apologize if I went too fast here, but we'll definitely have a lot of time for questions and answers. The last thing I'm going to show you real quick is there is a tool in the tools ribbon. And if you go to tool, and I don't know why it does this, it takes me to the draft view. Let me go back to print layout. I'm going to go back to the tools ribbon. And under the insert, there's this add page number tool. Now, most of the stuff in tools is very helpful. This one's helpful, but it doesn't insert section breaks in the document. It just puts in the page numbering. So here you can put text before and after, format the numbering, include that total number of pages, which is that special field in the header and footer ribbon. Restart this section, location, alignment, insert this point forward. This is great. It does not insert section breaks into the document. So once you feel comfortable with the things that we've went through already, and this will be posted in the learning management system, then you can use this to make it a little easier to insert page numbering. Okay, so I'm not going to use this because my whole document has been formatted correctly. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at it. So, yep, we inserted a section break. We turned off same as previous. We inserted a section break there, turned off same as previous, then inserted the page numbering. Then we did the same thing here. That's got a different first page. This is going to start at page 2 because it's the second page of that section, and so on and so forth. And then we just typed in the A1 down here. All right, so just to reiterate, 3 steps to successful headers and footers is insert next page section breaks, turn off same as previous, insert and format pages numbers. Always check for that different first page. If things are not looking correctly, be sure that's either on or off. And then when you insert additional section breaks, be sure to follow these steps because this little devil here, same as previous, will reappear. Okay. And just to wrap it up here, definitely take a look at the Milbank Learning Center. We'll have a recording of this in there. It's a pretty short recording, not too bad. And there's other tip sheets available on there as well. So definitely take a look when you get a chance. And thank you for attending the class. If you want to stay for the question and answer period, please feel free and ask as many questions as you like. Thank you so much for attending.